Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
Praise the Lord. Let's praise the Lord again. And I will rejoice and be glad in it. Why don't you turn to your neighbor and tell him the fight is on. The fight is on. Tell somebody else the fight is on. The fight is on. Truly, as we say, when we think about it, and we think about the world today, they talk about ISIS, and they're one of the terrorist groups that have come to attack our great nation, so many nations. And we can't decide, as powerful as we are, should we attack them by land or should we attack them by air? Not only that, but when we think about the Ebola crisis that's happening, it started in Africa, Liberia, and that has now gone on to, we have so many in the States that are now have been afflicted, or they're in their homes and being quarantined. We have to wonder, is there a biological war going on? But I said all that to say this. If we don't know of any other kind of war going on, there's a spiritual war going on. And because the spiritual war is going on, we've got to be dressed for the battle. We've got to be dressed for the occasion. As was said earlier in Ephesians, the 6th chapter, and at the 14th verse, it tells us to stand, therefore, having your loins girt about with truth. And let me back up a little bit, because I didn't give honor to our pastor here, all right, because this is our Pastor Ransom. All right, we thank God for him and for all of you. And I got a little bit ahead of myself, because I do want to give honor where honor is due. But just to say that when we think about the belt of truth, when we think about the armor of God, and for those of you who may be in the military, you know you got to be dressed for the occasion. The military is good about, you know, they pay you a salary, give you a place to sleep, they give you food to eat, but when it's time for battle, they expect you to be ready. You got to go. Wherever the war is, you got to be there. Ain't no, but I don't want to go, I don't feel good, they ain't hearing that. And so when we say we got to be dressed for the occasion, just like we get dressed every morning, we get up and we put on our little outfits and our clothing, our shirts, pants, shoes, and whatever else. We've got to be dressed with the armor of God. And in Ephesians, it lists all the different parts of the armor. You can't pick and choose what you want to wear. You can't say, well, today I'm not feeling like wearing the helmet of salvation. Or I don't feel like putting on the breastplate of righteousness. But you've got to be dressed every day for battle. For the enemy is a deceiver. And he will come any way he can to deceive us. And a lot of times when he does it, he doesn't do it all at once. He does it gradually and suddenly. For he's cunning. And so what we say is that you got to put on the belt of truth. And some of you might say, well, that's one of the first pieces that you have to put on. Why do you have to put on the belt? Think about these young people today. I'm an educator also, so I salute you. I know what you go through. But if you think about our young people, when they don't have belts on, what's happening? The pants are coming down. They're falling all over the place. They could barely walk. They can't run because they're trying to hold things up. Well, see, the belt was the main piece of the armor, because the belt was the centerpiece. It was the first piece. But not only that, it was the most essential piece, because the belt held everything else together. It held the breastplate in place, so it wasn't moving around. Because see, when you got to do battle, you got to be ready to move. You don't know how you're going to move. You don't know what you got to do, but you got to be ready. So the belt kept everything in place. And so for us, we got to pick. We can't pick and choose which piece we going to put on. Because see, we don't know how the enemy is coming. All we do know is that he's coming. And when he's coming, we got to be ready for the fight. We got to let him know that the fight fight is on. And therefore I'm ready. So we got to think about it. Think about Eve. And the enemy came to her because he is a liar. My mother used to have a sign in the house that said, the devil is a liar. And I used to wonder why she would put it up over the door. And when you turn off the lights, it would just flicker because it was neon. Because when I thought about it, the devil is a liar. He comes to attack our minds. He comes to deceive us just like he did Eve. He told Eve that if you eat of this tree and touch it, you should surely die. Now that was a lie from the pit. God didn't tell her that if you touch it. He said, but if you eat of it, then you shall surely die. So that is to say he lied to her, deceived her, and that's how sin came in the world. And don't think you any better than Eve. The same way he lied to her, he's lying to you. He's telling you that God ain't going to heal your body. When you go to the doctor, you get a report, and it may not be the report you want to hear. But you want to tell him, you know what, doctor? You told me the facts, but you didn't tell me the truth. Because I know that God is a healer. God can heal cancer. God can heal diabetes. God can heal any kind of heart murmurs and heart attack. God is a healer. And that's the truth where he said, what? By his stripes we are healed. So the devil is a lie. And because he is a lie, he's always trying to deceive us. I mean, some of us, we don't have money in the bank. The devil tell you you're broke and you're going to stay broke. But I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. And so I won't ever be broke. Devil, you still alive. We've got to let him know that he doesn't give us the truth, but we've got to know what the truth is. Because if we know what the truth is, then we will surely be able to follow the truth. And so I say to you to tell the devil the fight is on. You've been lying and deceiving all along, but the fight is on. I'm dressed today because I'm dressed for battle. You got to be dressed every day to fight, because the fight is on. Tell your neighbor the fight. The fight is on. I'm not taking the devil's junk. I'm not going to let him have my stuff, because I'm not going to count out on the end. You know boxes, they give them that count. 1, 2, 3, 4, waiting for them to get up. We ought to tell them I'm going to stand up, but that's what the Bible said. We ain't going down for the count. We're going to stand up. We're going to stand some more than we be able to stand. So you ought to tell them the fight is on. It's on. Somebody else, the fight is on. It's on. Come on, let's bless the name of the Lord. I'm going to ask the representative, this young man, and I like the fact that you're training up your young people. Because see, they hear, and as he's getting dressed, and he may go home and say, well, Mama, what was all that stuff they were putting on? It's time to do teaching. But what the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart. So we're going to put the belt of truth on this young man. Yeah! Put it on! Thank you. He don't want to sit, he dressed.